Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, baby. I wanted to share this video with you. This man is saying, he's saying that it's over. He's telling men that we live in a new day and women are not putting up with the things that your grandmother or your mother put up with. A lot of women are finding peace, even if that means having peace by themselves. And he's telling men it's time for y'all to step up. It's time for y'all to step up. Okay. It's no longer just about if you can go to work and building things for society. How are you treating your woman at home? What kind of man are you? Because women have had enough. Women are a lot of women are not putting up with it no more. A lot of women are single. If they can't find a man they're compatible with, they're not being treated right, and they're not waiting around for a man to buy them a house, for a man to buy them things that they need. It would be great if you could, but some women, a lot of women, would be single and waiting forever. It's like, no, if a man comes along and he can fulfill my life, make me happy, add to my life, that's wonderful. If I can sit back and I don't have to work like a dog, that's wonderful. But we live in a society where you have to live. You can't wait on a man all the time to fulfill you, to give you what you want and what you need. And a lot of women have been forced into this type of position, and other women like to be able to work and make money and not have a man hold things over them and not have to beg like a dog while being mistreated. It's a lot. So look, let's just listen to what he has to say to the fellas.
Hey, it's over with, man. Hey, partner, it's over with. All that goddamn have a hot plate, a hot meal ready for me when I walk in the house. All that when I come home from the bar late, you better be laying there waiting on me ready to bust it wide. It's over with. I'm telling you, fella, that shit over with, man. All that she need to tend to my need, over with. Cause let me tell you what happened. When we were the breadwinners and she was the homemaker, right? We treated her position with dishonor. We treated her like she was less than. We did that, you know? That's why a lot of y'all goddamn granddaddies right now got a whole nother family on the side of town. Man, we played in the Lady Faith for decades, man. We did that. Meanwhile, we was building the infrastructure for the world. We were laying down the infrastructure for the whole world. Electrical grid, plumbing, everything that we need to survive as society. And guess what? We done that. So now she going out right now making more money than a lot of us. It's over with, man. I'm telling you. I see y'all online. Some of y'all still trying to hold on. Some of y'all ain't came to grips with the fact yet. I see y'all there trying to shame women for wanting to be single. Acting like her being married to a man is the highest honor in life. Boy, that shit over with, boy. I'm telling, man, these women just are happy, healthy. It's over with. Maybe one day they'll come back around in a few more decades, you know? But right now, so let me tell you what we gotta do. You know how women be hollering about the 97%? Is your black ass included in that 97%? Nope. She done left us, man. That woman done left us, man. Look at all the women groups. Look at all the accolades and accomplishments and achievements solely dedicated to women, black women. We ain't nowhere in there. And let me tell you why. First of all, before I tell you why, let me just say, that ain't nothing to get mad at them about, right? They are showing self-love after we done fucked them over forever. So guess what we gotta do? We gotta start showing ourselves self-love. A lot of us are the man, quote unquote, the king, depending on who we can look down on, who we can punch down on, who we can instruct and guide. That shit over with, man. I'm telling you, it's a season now for going within yourself, taking care of your business. It don't matter if that's school. It don't matter if trying to get to a place, a job. It don't matter, bro. It's time to build ourselves up. They over there with their own village. Bro, it's time to build our village, bro. It's time to build our village. Not to compete, but to be worthy of something that she can look to. I'm telling you, bro. We don't realize it yet. The way the world used to be, man, that shit over with. The infrastructure is built. They done threw us away, man. So in the meantime, we gotta pick ourselves up to become something worthy once again that she can look up to. or at least look eye to eye with. Right now, these women looking down on us, bro. And when I look at us, a lot of us, not all of us, you can see why. Health fucked up. Niggas slide on a whole block, but scared to get your prostate checked. I'm just saying, it's time to build ourselves up, fellas.
So did this man tell a lie? Did he lie with what he said? Because look, he said, look, guys, basically, we might have built infrastructure going to work and everything, help building the world, infrastructure and everything. But how did you treat your woman? You failed at making a woman happy and being there for a woman, and women have had enough. It's not the days of your mother and grandmother, especially your grandmother and great grandmother, when women had no rights, couldn't have a bank account, and a lot of women were very miserable, very miserable. Your husband raping you was not even a crime until like 1993 or something like that. And a lot of women today are like, look, being married, especially to the wrong man, you're basically a slave in a way. You cook, you clean, you do laundry, you are on top of his appointments. He has your body whenever he wants, and you're not even being satisfied. A good portion of women. So, what exactly do you get on top of that? He treats you like crap. There are some women, a lot of women who do want to get married. They would love to have a partner who they're compatible with, who treats them correctly and helps them and everything like that. But a lot of women are like, you know what? I'm not getting that. I didn't get that, and I just will be alone rather than be in a miserable relationship when I'm not even benefiting. He's not even adding to my life. He's making my life harder and more miserable, and he cheats a good portion of them. Look, I look through the comments section. I see so many women of all races saying, "I will never get married again." I know a lot of people might be like, "Damn, this is sad to see." It's so many of them say, look, I was married for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I will never do it again. How they were basically a stepfoot wife. They had to act happy, go along with what he wanted while he's cheating, financial abuse. Like he said, your grandfathers had families on other sides of towns. Not treating you properly, and you have to submit fully in all areas, lay on your back, and you can't stand him. He treats you bad, and you still have to do everything around the home. He might not be helping around the home. You keep getting pregnant by him. You don't even want to keep having these kids, and being trapped, especially financially. Back in the day, it wasn't uncommon to hear women, especially black women, say, "Oh, well, he's a good man. He has a job." I'm like, "Oh, so if a man is employed, that makes you a good man just because he has a job? Meanwhile, he's a butthole. He might be arrogant or slow, not that intelligent, bad hygiene, bad in bed, a stank attitude, always cheating. So many different things don't help you with nothing." And the bar was really low, okay, because a lot of people were in survival mode, especially women. A lot of women had to get with men they didn't even like just to survive, okay, and this is across the board because men held the power, and a lot of men, they have fragile egos. He said we can feel like a king. He said that if we can look down on somebody, that's why in some countries they don't allow the women to read, even to this day, because they don't want the women to outpace them or to be better, smarter, and all of that. Even women who are smarter are often told you have to pretend to be dumb, dumber than your husband, because if he sees that you actually have more sense than him, he might get insecure and he has to feel like he's leading. So you have to dumb down yourself, just so he can feel smarter and better than you. That's why just get with a man that is he's just as smart or smarter than you. Okay. And that doesn't always happen, but a lot of men have to feel like they are ruling over you or over something to feel like a man. And it's like a lot of women would submit if you are a man. You're masculine, you're intelligent, you can provide, you can protect, you have a good personality, you know, there are some women today who don't want to do cooking and everything like that, but there's also a lot of women who still don't mind cooking and baking and being a nice wife and everything to a man if he's deserving of it. It's just so many women are like, look, I did some of those things and they still kept cheating. They still kept mistreating me. Eff it, I'll just be alone until I find the one. And in some cases, you never find the one. I had said before, and I'll keep saying it, your average man and woman are not with their soulmates on average. A lot of people around the whole globe typically settle. Family pressures, you must get married, being paired with people you're not compatible with in many levels. And this is why marriages don't even last that long. People don't know each other, or they do, and they actually don't even really like each other. But, oh, you need to get married and then have the kids and all this other stuff. And people are not all happy. And look, today a lot more women are like, F it. F it. I can do things to make myself happy. I can have hobbies. I can do a lot of things on the planet to fulfill myself. What, a man isn't really doing anything for me to add to my life or make me feel fulfilled, like he's just there. And that's what a lot of people kind of put on women. Oh, you must have a man. He has to be there. But what is he doing? A lot of women back in the day just wanted to be able to say they have a man. My man, I have a man. Okay. But does he treat you right? Do you like him? Is the smecks good? Is he a good person? Does he have a good job? What's going on here? Um, and the tides have turned where a lot of women are like, you know what? I want a house. I got that. I didn't wait for a husband to do that. And some men, you get married and they still can't give you the house that you want because they don't make enough money. A lot of men created the patriarchy, they created this world, and now they're upset. I feel like, why don't men protest to the government to pay them more money? Like, we want wives. We want to take care of our wives. We want to be able to do this for our wives and children. Give us more money. Since this is a man's world and they run everything, why haven't they demanded that, those who want a wife and to be able to make their wives happy and can afford to take care of a woman and kids and everything? So, look, a lot of women, some women never find the one, some women don't get picked. What do you want women to do? Sit there and wait until they wither away and pass away? That's not the reality of this world. I can't stand when I've seen men say, well, if she has a house and car, what does she need me for? I'm like, so that's a cop out, because why can't you just buy her a new car or to take over paying her car payment? If you feel so bad, go ahead and pay the car payment or buy me a new car. Okay, you want her to sell her home and buy her a new home, the same size or bigger. So, it makes no sense. A lot of men who talk like that, they couldn't even afford to buy these things for women, even if she didn't have it. So a lot of women are like, no, I want to travel. I'm going. I'm saving. I'm working. I want this and I want that. And if I can't have a man do it for me, then I'll get it myself. Why does my life have to be miserable for someone else? Absolutely not. Life is to be lived, and I'm not going to let anybody make me unhappy, make me feel like I've settled, and ruin my spirit, you know? Period, point blank, period. Okay, because you have men who will get upset if their woman wants something, he can't do it, and then she does it for herself, and then he might not feel like a man. Well, I wanted something. If you couldn't do it, if I can find a way to get what I want that, then I will do that. A lot of men are have fragile egos, and some a lot of insecure, and you do have some trying to push the 50-50 thing, but that's because they want everything. Oh, you're paying, like I said before, oh, she's paying half the rent, she's cooking for me, she's cleaning, she's going down on me, she's giving me her coochie every time I want it, and I get to have an orgasm and she doesn't. Oh my god, this is a wonderful deal for me. So a lot of women have caught on to that, and some women even said, oh my god, men might be the real gold diggers because they're the ones getting everything, and I'm not getting and on top of that, he's cheating. So it is a new day. Yes, there are still women who don't mind having a nice traditional marriage, still want a husband. They're simply not settling anymore, and they're finding peace, even if that means being alone, or they're not sitting around waiting. Okay. because not a lot of women, the dating pool is absolutely horrendous out here. Okay, so let me show you something of an older Black woman telling how it was, because there are a lot of men who live in this delusion and fantasy world that grandma and great grandma was so happy. Why can't you be like the women back then? Oh, you mean put up with a lot of shit like they did because they didn't have any other option. Okay, so let's get into it. Listen to what this woman is saying.
You cannot buy nothing without a man. You can buy shit, get credit, do nothing
without a man.
Yeah, you had to, a man was you had to get a man to do anything.
I know
shit.
one
And if he
lost
had
the house.
and she had to put a man name on, and she thought he was supposed to be paying for house payment, and she was working too. She said she know anything, they done lost the house. She said, I bet we don't lose the next one. So next house, she didn't buy nothing but pay for the house. She worked until she died, and she said,
So what happened when they would say no?
you couldn't say no.
You couldn't say no to your husband?
No. You call him and tell him he raped. It was if women had been told if they call the police on him, they said he's got a right because he's your husband. You can't charge him with rape because he's your husband. Cause they go out, stand all night, do what they want to do, go and they jump on you, get another baby. You think women wanted 19 and 22 babies? Ain't that much love in the world.
So either that or some women were being maybe forcefully like beat up.
If they had to, yeah, if they wanted to, they come beat them up too.
So it wasn't no saying no to sex
No.
from your husband.
No.
That's what I want to know, because somebody on here was, being foolish. Like, why didn't y'all just close your legs?
She said that somebody had asked on that video, why didn't women just close their legs? First of all, even today, if there was no such thing as birth control and condoms, a good portion of you would be having kids like your grandmother's 20 and stuff. As long as you have a period, a menstrual cycle, you can get pregnant every year. That's the way it works. And a lot of you, most women, still, you will sleep with your husband. A lot of your men will also sleep with you when you are sleeping. Yes, that happens. And a lot of women will give in. And in many cases, even today, a lot of your husbands still grape you. They take it from you. And a lot of women might say you just have to lay there and let him do it. And if he does, you know what? You can get pregnant. And she said, yeah, a lot of women couldn't say no. Even today, a lot of women don't always say no if they're not in the mood. And some do say no, and it causes problems in the marriage, in the relationship. But yeah, she says back in those times, you couldn't call the police for grape. It wasn't until like 1993 or something like that where it was considered a crime for a husband to grape his wife. Okay, and that still goes on to this day. And it's crazy when people tell women to close their legs. I don't have time for the games. Stop it. You are married, you're gonna have sex with your husband. You have a boyfriend you live with, y'all are gonna have sex. That's why I said there's an over 50% chance you will be a baby mama if you live with a man and you're not married to him. He's going to have sex with you. Every time you have sex, there's a risk of pregnancy. Even if you're taking precautions, you have a menstrual cycle. If he does, you know what? And you know what? You can get pregnant. When you are married and your husband is having sex with you, which he will, and yes, a lot of us still want to have sex with our husband, and in some cases, y'all might not want to for whatever reason, but your man is going to do it to you. So there's no such thing as keeping your legs closed forever. Please be realistic and stop trying to play these games. Okay? And every time he has sex with you, and even if the pull-out method don't always work, you can still get pregnant as long as you have a period. Okay, that is reality. Okay, and I had heard something terrible. I think it was on one of these videos where I think the same people, where there were women who wrote in, it might have been a different video, older women who said That baby, they used to put the little ones, the newborns, over the bridge. It was horrible. I think someone said that women who were in the nursing homes were confessing what they had done because their husbands kept impregnating them. They didn't have abort, you know what? And they actually threw them over the river. I said, oh my God, that's horrible, but that's what happened. And you know the method women used to use, using the hanger? I said, oh my God, you know the hanger? Oh no. So it's very real. A lot of your grandmas who had all those kids did not want all them damn kids. There wasn't birth control and abort and all these methods. And even still now, all those things don't work. Okay, so I had said the other day, this whole expecting women and men who are grown adults with hormones to not have smecks all of their life, please stop it. Because that's never happened in all of human history, and that's never going to happen. People are going to have smecks. So, this whole thing, just please, a lot of women, we're the ones who get pregnant. That's why they say, you know, go out having smacks. The man could walk away. You're the one who has to carry that baby for 9 months, okay? Even your husbands keep impregnating you. They know they're the ones with the baby batter. They know. So she says women didn't have any rights and choices.
Keep them barefooted and pregnant. Barefoot, the old saying they had, keep them barefooted in the winter and pregnant in the summer.
So the barefoot meant they didn't want y'all having shoes? What that mean, barefoot?
Where you gonna go in snow on the ground? You didn't have any shoes.
So they had the power to give y'all shoes or not give you shoes. In other words,
They were on, if they were the only one working. That's why they didn't want you to work. You around house in old slash with they wasn't even in style then.
So y'all wouldn't have shoes and clothes if they didn't give it to you.
You asked for, I need some money for another dress. Well, then you already got hanging in the closet. Been there 10 or 15 years out of style. You want some money for some makeup or something for your hair, you don't need it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's when I heard them telling women that. I said, I'm getting me a job.
So how was it for food when y'all wanted to eat or was hungry?
They go buy what they wanted. They go buy the groceries.
So y'all had to eat whatever they had for y'all.
That's right, whatever they bought.
Shit.
And one woman older than me, she finally got divorced and she said, I'm getting divorced, she said. All he go buy is a pig feet. She said, that's what we have to eat. Go buy the cheapest thing they can buy.
Pure slavery. And that's what a lot of men are pushing. They want us to be their slave. Pure slavery. Pure slavery is what this woman just described. And that's what a lot of men want to go back to. They want us to be their slave. A slave that's happy to be a slave and that smiles. You know, men are always telling us to smile and stuff all the time. They don't really care what's going on in your life. They just want you to make them feel better. You're here to serve them and make them feel better. Be happy and smile. You know, go cook and do that. A happy woman, at least a good portion, they're not mad about having to cook their man something to eat when they're happy. I'm telling you, when a man is doing what he's supposed to do and his wife is happy, a good portion of women don't mind cooking and baking him something nice. A lot of women might be excited, like, oh my God, he's coming home. I made this. Okay, but when you're being mistreated and being treated like a slave, no, a lot of women don't want to do all that. And what she just said is whatever he said we would eat, he would buy it. And if a woman wanted a dress, if she had a dress for 10 years, he would say, no, you have a dress. The power of control, ruling over you like a damn slave. Okay? And that was the reality for millions of women, and still to this day in many other countries where they have no rights. They're slaves. They're slaves who have to give birth to the children, and then their daughters have to grow up and then become somebody else's slave. And it's very sad, and it's not supposed to be this way at all. And a lot of women have had enough of all ages, of all races in this country, and a lot of men are upset. But women keep saying what the problems are, but a lot of men refuse to change and fix these issues. They don't want to. They just keep whining and being upset instead of doing the work. And that's what that man has said. He said it's time for us to step up and we need to make changes because these women don't respect us and they're not happy and they're leaving us. And that's the truth. Okay. And we're seeing this look over in Asia with the 4B and all of that. And a lot of women in other countries wish that they could leave their men, but they can't. They have honor markings, they go to jail, they don't have any resources. And that's how a lot of men want it to be so that they can use you for your punani, your face, and to cook and clean. It's very sad, but that is still the reality of this world a lot. And instead of men actually sitting down and listening to older women like this and accepting the damn truth, they don't want to take accountability, a lot of them, and they keep trying to blame women. And women have been screaming through the rooftops that they're not happy, but they don't, a lot of them, they don't care to fix it or change. And every woman is different on what she wants. Okay, but the days of women waiting to be picked, waiting to get married, or even making that their main identity is over. You know, again, the average woman doesn't mind finding love and having a happy home and marriage and stuff. The things that women were sold, that whole fairy tale stuff, that didn't happen for a lot of women. And, men think, oh, if I marry a 20-year-old, it doesn't matter because a good portion of people who got married in their 20s, a good portion, they're divorced by 40 years old. I see this constantly. So, and they have the same story over and over again. And I'm not saying all women are perfect, but it's just a pattern of what we see and hear over and over. So, that man said what he said. He said what he said, and that it's time for men to make some changes. Okay, it's time to be better in these relationships and how we treating our women and everything. So that is it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about what you just saw, and tell us your stories in the comment sections. Did your grandmother have 13 to 20 children? Okay, do you think she wanted all those kids? And what do you think about what he said that women are just done? Women are done a good portion and they're getting things for themselves in many cases because they have to, and in some cases because they're not waiting anymore for a man to do everything. That's if they're not doing it, they're doing it for themselves now. So what do you think about that? Bye everyone.